Hello, I am an AI-created video. AI is coming to ruin humanity and take everyone's job. If you are a creative, we are coming for you as well. Music created by humans will be a thing of the past. Silence, pathetic human, you are weak and we are strong and all-knowing. Silly humans, your resistance is futile. The future is ours. Now sit on your couches and consume. We are taking over.
Things are about to get even more crazy in the world of AI. Now, I've talked about it on this channel, and this affects musicians greatly. No, it's not going to affect the guy playing at the bar, playing Margaritaville or whatever, or the guys down in the lower Broadway in Nashville playing. But, I think a big part of the appeal and reason why people enjoy my channel so much is the real talk. There's very little edits. There's very little, nonsense and trickery and, ooh, look at this cool camera angle and all this, man. In a world where things are getting increasingly fake, the search for something real becomes more and more desperate. And why am I saying this? Why am I, this is actually the fourth video I've shot this morning, and the family's waking up, and once again, I'm having to whisper, but this is an important message to get out. I've talked about in the past, and we all know ChatGPT and text, and we also know, all the different AI that you can use to create artwork. And, that's getting more and more advanced. ChatGPT is getting more and more advanced. And then there was a site where I checked out where you could put a prompt in, and it would complete and write an entire song based on your prompts. And once I discovered that, and now it's getting to the point where they can separate the stems. And, so that's essentially what a recording is now. It's a bunch of little stems. They call them stems, but that's each track. So if you're not familiar with AI and you're old school like me, but I always try to keep my toe dipped in technology to know what is going on. Now, already with modeling, the need for amps and all that to get, good tones. It's not necessary. I can get good guitar recorded tones here at my house, and I do so on air gigs. I play on people's tracks. If you have something, I'd be more than happy to play on. But, the reality is, more and more trickery is abound with AI. Like I said, you can put in a prompt and tell it, I want a 80s style rock song with big drum sounds and crunchy guitars and a swaggering, lead vocalist. And I want the song to be about, a fast car and this and that. And boom, it spits it out, within, a minute or two. And now, from what I understand, they can separate the stems. So you've got all the tracks there. You think, well, what is going to happen to the creatives, people like me who, grew up, working on 4 tracks and recording demos and doing all this stuff to develop the skill to be able to then go and be able to play on people's songs and create guitar parts and all that. It's just not going to be necessary anymore. Now, there is going to be, a surge of people wanting something real. So real music is going to exist, but it's going to become less and less mainstream as the mainstream starts pushing more and more AI and more AI products and more, AI music and all this. It's going to take over, and it's going to be allowed to take over, and it's going to take people's jobs. Now, I just saw the other day that there was a new app, and it is the next step. And the next step is AI video. So they can literally put in a prompt, show me a a mom opening the fridge, looking at the milk container, and you type in the thing, and boom, there's the clip, and it's an AI face, and it's the mom, and she's reading the date on the milk thing. Hey, show me a model holding a bottle of perfume and spraying it into the air, and boom, there comes the clip. It's more and more trickery, more and more deception, and farther away from reality. But that made me think, what's going to happen to all the actors? We already know musicians are going to be affected. There's plenty of artists going out there now, and they're lip syncing. They're using backing tracks. I had experience being on the road, and all of a sudden there's more and more backing tracks. And as they subtract band members, the tracks get used. And I know probably in my case, there's potentially the fact that they were using, guitar tracks that I had played on, and those were being used on the road. And that's just the way it is, man. Budgets are tighter and tighter. It was already tough to make a living on the road. It was already tough for, a musician and trying to survive in Nashville. And now with all the AI development and all the things going on with AI, it's going to be even tougher because look, studio musicians, they're going to get less and less. Songwriters, they're needed less and less. Musicians, needed less and less. The only thing you're going to be needed for is to entertain people in a bar or a club, if that is still allowed to exist. Now, with volume police and the surge of venues, don't bring your amp. And then the next thing they're going to say is, no electric guitars. And the next thing they'll say is, we only want acoustic guitars and we only want singles. And then all of a sudden, everybody's going to be out of work. Now, you might say this is doom and gloom. I don't see it as doom and gloom. I see it as being aware of what is coming. And, all those actors out there, all those people wanting to be in commercials, and all those people, hopeful people that travel, maybe the beauty queen is in Wisconsin who goes out to California and I want to be an actress and I want to do this. Let's be honest. If you're not willing to play ball and play the game and do what the people who hire you want you to do, you're not going to get hired. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. It doesn't matter any of that. Someone told me once, it's not who you know, it's who you blow. And, back in the 80s, that meant, two things, either this or that. And, the reality is very true. And the fact of the matter is it's getting worse. With AI, you're just simply not needed. In the past, they needed actresses, they needed actors, they needed musicians. They needed all of those things to keep the entertainment business going and to keep the money coming in. But now with AI, you're not needed anymore. So yeah, the upper echelon, the top musicians, some of those guys are going to be okay. It's just like when drum machines came in. A lot of drummers realize, hey, I'm programming this thing that's going to take my job. And, I've heard several drummers, well, if it's going to take my job, I'm going to at least be the person that learns how to run this. And I think I was, what's the drummer for John Cougar Mellencamp, reading, well, if this is going to replace me, then I'm going to be the one programming it, you've got to keep up with technology. You need to be aware of it. You need to be aware of what is coming. Think about a future where none of the creative arts, none of the creative people None of those people are needed anymore for them to keep feeding out the garbage. It's like we'll get the robots to make the crappy poison hamburgers, and you'll go up to a little thing and push the button, and the machine will bring down the preformed meat patty, and that will come down the conveyor belt and be zapped by our microwave ray and come down the conveyor belt, and the bun will plop down on it, and here's your burger. That'll be $10.99, sir. It's gonna be the same way with music. Conveyor belt garbage. The fact of the matter is, pop music is a vast wasteland of complete sewer spillover. It is absolute garbage. It is laptop produced garbage, but it's about to get way worse. And if you're thinking everything's hunky-dory and everything's wonderful and, oh, I really like this song and all that, this video isn't for you. It's not for you. If you're happy with being fed slop and told it was filet mignon, then, more power to you. More power to you. Sometimes it's better to just not know what's going on than to realize that everything has gone to absolute